This is Reality Dispatch, written by Jim Minns.
Mandatory civic duty was about as welcome as a jury duty notice, the lottery no one wanted to win. The draw was called for the following day at 8 a.m. daily. Those over the age of 18 were eligible, and if your number was called, you had to serve. No excuses. This final rule did call into question one particular constitutional crisis, when the power granted to a citizen for a day was used to allow the citizen to revoke their responsibility. Ultimate power was afforded the mandated citizen. The Constitution was clear about this. But the abdication had meant that no decision was made on this day about a particularly troubling piece of legislation aimed at increasing police resources. As a result, the entire force nationwide went on strike. As for the citizen who abdicated, he was publicly humiliated for years on end. No one wanted to suffer a similar fate. Such abuse of power was attempted once more since the introduction of the new constitution that outlawed democracy. Gary Plainview, a plumber from North Carolina, instructed the courts to prosecute all of his former business partners without the need for a trial. He gave them all life sentences. By the end of the day, he had outlawed almost all lawful activities. These laws were still in place at midnight when he had to relinquish power and found himself under arrest over a law he had mandated. He spent the next 6 hours in custody until his replacement citizen had reversed the crimes he had enacted and set those associated free. When Plainview emerged from solitary confinement, his face had been rearranged. This again was a warning not to interfere with fair-minded order. An important caveat when handling the administration of power, especially for a novice, for which almost all those mandated citizens were. It was a constitutional requirement that you were to serve only once in 30 years. This was to break up any concentration of power. Kate. It was a Thursday in late August. Kate had just finished the sea watch on the geriatric wing of St. Michael's Memorial Hospital. She had accepted an overtime shift that was cut short when the ward manager informed her of a notice that was placed on the all-staff email. She was to be the mandated citizen. "Oh, no," she said to Kirsty, who was relieving her. "My uncle was the mandated citizen once, like 20 years ago," Kirsty replied. "Really?" "Yeah, really. He hated it," Kate frowned. "Why?" "A lot of paperwork, a lot of bureaucracy. Don't worry though. I think they give you a team of boffins to help you out and let you know what you need to sign. What's urgent and what you can leave up to the next guy," Kirsty said as she tied her laces in the coffee lounge, downed her caffeine hit and left. "Upside for me, I can now take your overtime shift," she said as the door closed behind her. Kate gave the door the finger. At 6 a.m. there was a buzz on the bell. Kate answered the intercom in a fog. "I am Fraser, Miss Bridges, your driver for the day," the voice announced. "Okay, look, I didn't pay much attention in civics class at school and I don't have any experience with this before. Are you able to tell me what I'm supposed to be doing?" Kate asked. "Yes, ma'am. If you present yourself as you are, we can provide bathroom facilities and uniform attire at Parliament House. We have a tailor on site who can dress you according to your requirements within minutes. Your first meeting is with the State Department at 8 a.m, the voice informed. "Okay, so I just come down in my robe?" Kate asked. "Come down and we'll take care of the rest." 7:58, in a two-piece pantsuit with matching leather heels, Kate emerged into the primary office, surrounded by oil paintings of the Great War that took place on the brink of civilization's collapse, where democracy took a final stand and lost and was humbled by an innate sense of helplessness and fear, as she realized that all decisions affecting everyone she knew and everyone she would never meet, who all lived and breathed and ate and danced and sung and kissed and commuted and were killed and were alive and worked and cycled and took buses and trains and metros and light rails and drove trucks and taxis and worked in hospitals, like she did. All of them, all over the country, were recipients of the decisions she would make for the next 24 hours. She was their boss, their ruler, their leader, their queen, for one day only. How would she govern when she had no desire, no clue, and no understanding of their needs, wants, challenges, and concerns? The door opened and an army of suits proceeded over with documents. Madam Citizen, here are the briefing notes on the invasion of the East by the displaced rebels. We have intelligence to suggest some amongst the group carry terrorist sympathies. We need your go-ahead on whether we engage with a ground force or whether a remote attack will suffice given the threat level has been elevated, a man said, handing the brief to Kate. Her jaw dropped. The brief, Ma'am, it's all in there. Just read the brief, said another. And then what? Kate asked. Then you will know what to do, he explained. No, I won't, she declared. The men smirked. We've prepared the report in dot points, and we can show you precedent decisions made by other mandated citizens. You will be guided by the very best and brightest in international relations. Please, don't be intimidated. But we have a meeting with the fire department at 8:15, and they are demanding a 16% pay rise in line with inflation, and our budget, bottom line, cannot accommodate such a demand. Derek, enough, interrupted the first suit. This is the international briefing and you're sucking up our time. Kate's breathing was inflamed. She struggled to retain air, and when her lungs did fill, they exhaled as if in a hurry to leave her body, leaving the stress she was surrounded in. Nights on the ward surrounded by death from natural disasters were more manageable than this. The decision rests with her, and she had to make an informed choice, guided by the experts. But they were too numerous in the room, and she did not have the education or patience to partake in this mandated test of civic duty. I'll sign what you guide me to sign, she managed to say under a strain of breath and a pulsating heart that raced faster and faster as the seconds ticked over until her shift, her duty had ended.
For more stories of fact-based fiction, head to jimmins.substack.com.